Good morning, folks. This is NC4XL, North Carolina for extreme lovers, and that I'm not. This is Dom, the darling old man. That's what I referred to myself. Your brand new POTA hunter / chaser, and maybe down the road to be an activator. Nobody's asked me to do this video, and if somebody says I've got my nose in the business, I am sorry, but it would be nice to learn some things instead of having to read it all, be able to hear some of the basic questions answered and feel a little bit more comfortable. So welcome aboard. It's an addictive hobby, addictive passing of time. But I'm going to be speaking to you folks and any others that are here listening about a hunter, not an activator. I'll tell you things of the activator, but primarily what you do. So the first thing I'm really going to ask you to do once you've been signed up, there's a frequently asked question section. There is a frequently asked question section. Really, that is important. Don't read it all at once. You'll get a headache. As with anything, too much reading, you lose interest. But there's a lot of factual information right there for you that'll help you. This is a visual that I'll try to answer some of the basic information things, and that's just about it. So let's get started, and hopefully I have not bored you so far and will not bore you to the end. As a hunter, and you've signed up and you have the app so you know where they are, it's on the spotting page. That's when you click on the app and you see the word spot. Once you click on spot, it's going to show you who is where on what frequency and what park or park number. As a hunter, this is very helpful because you no longer have to, so to speak, spin the dial and go look for them. As an activator, we try very hard to spot some way where we're at so you'll come and chase us. And yes, I'm an activator. I started out being a hunter like you on the other end of this video. But once you find them, then you get into the pile-up of working them. Now, here's what I want you to remember. Your bathroom is close by. You have your beverage in front of you. If you're smoking a pipe or cigarette or whatever, it's in front of you. You don't have to worry about food because you have it in front of you. You have those conveniences. It's warm in your house. That's an awesome thing. Or your camper or RV. Or even your car or truck if you're out there hunting by automobile. You are in a convenient situation. Now, enjoy it. I'll tell you the other side of the story in a moment. But while you're there and you spotted them, and you make a call and you log it, you're going to either log it on paper, log it on N3FJC, Scott's program, or hammers, or log something. There's so many various logging programs to use. You use what you're comfortable with. I use N3FJP's log. It meets all my needs from a hunter's standpoint and from an activator standpoint. Okay, as a hunter, here's the magic thing. No, you do not send your logs. Okay, you're only logging for your convenience of knowing who you worked, where, when, what time, what band. That's the only reason you're logging. I'll say it again. You don't have to log, you should, but you don't have to log because you're not required to send in any logs. But when people send you QSL cards, you might want to have some way of going back and verifying that, yes, you worked them or you didn't. And I've been a victim of DX stations sending me contact cards, please QSL, and I never worked them at all. Wasn't even on the radio that day. There's scams out there, so be careful. So, for yourself, whatever logging program you use, it might be nice to keep a log. I'm not going to promote any particular one. I know what I use, and that's for me, myself, and I. All three of us seem to agree, so we're happy. But as a hunter, you do not send your logs into anybody. You're dependent on the following. After you've made contacts, and you might get 30, 40, 50, 60 parks in one day. You do that for 10 days, it don't take long. The activator out there on the other side of this video is the one who's not in a convenient place of warm temperature and no bugs and no skeeters and no sunburn and no bathrooms, and the list goes on because everything they have is all set up portable, unless they're camping or something, and they might run off of generators then. They're the ones that send the login. Let's talk about that. They're your important asset. Because each one of those people, as activators, they send their login to their area coordinator. I'm an NC4, so my logs as an activator go to 4 land. If I was an NC6, it would go to 6 land. Not regardless of where I live, it's based on my call sign. So that activator that you worked has somebody they report their logs to, and they send an ADIF file to them. Once that volunteer, these are not paid people, they're people like you and me who don't get paid for it, we just go have fun. Once those coordinators process it, then it'll show up on your profile, it'll show up on your ward status. Now, don't get overexcited thinking you worked me yesterday and tomorrow is going to be there, because that's not the case. Some of your activators travel a week, 2, 3 weeks at a time before they send their logs in. Some people process it immediately. Myself, I process it within 24 hours. That's me, but not everybody's the same. In our 4 land, they're very fast. We are blessed. But not all areas have somebody who doesn't have a full-time job and is still volunteering their time to do 50 to 100 logs when they sit down. So you're going to have to put in the back of your head, it may take up to 30 days before that contact, that state or that park that you worked, is confirmed. But the activator confirms it for you. Even though you worked it, you know you worked it, it's not confirmed till that activator does their thing. Now, they may ship it out, that file, to their coordinator 2 days later. But their coordinator, again, is a volunteer and may have other full-time commitments, and we'll get to it, but generally speaking, within a 30-day window. That's not what you want to hear, but you might as well hear it and understand it. Sending additional emails to a coordinator saying, hey, what's going on, only delays and creates uncomfortable feelings, I guess. So don't worry about it. Get out there and keep working them. Now, when I say keep working them, I want you to understand the activator on the other side, that's me. We appreciate you. We need you. You help us justify spending our time, money, gas, traveling, buying the different compromised type of antennas, portable antennas, vehicle-mounted antennas, wire antennas. If you watch any of my videos, I do give some reviews. Now, let's talk about videos. If you will search POTA activation in YouTube, you will find many of us POTA activators more professional than me. I'm basic, I'm unedited, I don't have fancy screens. I don't say push this button and so forth. I'd always appreciate subscribers, but my main thing is to give information. But check YouTube on antennas, check on radios, type POTA activation, FT891, or your other radio choices. And get ready to spend some time, because we have an asset, a valuable bank of knowledge. It's free, and it's an opinion too. So utilize what you have in front of you and have fun. When the activators are out there, they're going to give you one part, that's a Kilo, or a Victor Echo, or a George Oscar, or a Kilo Papa, or Italy. What is Italy? Their new countries are coming aboard, so that spotting page is very important for you. They're going to give you the park number. Now, before I forget, because I'm an old man, in your app you'll see a link to Slack, S-L-A-C-K. If you will join Slack also, sometimes when the information is gone off of your regular app, you can go to Slack and you can find out who worked what park at what time because you forgot to write it down. I mean, you have all the conveniences in the house where you're at and you forgot to write it down. Try being an activator and you forget to write it down. Or your pencil broke. Or your laptop died. The battery went on your cell phone. Those are things you don't know about because you're brand new. But it happens out there. Working pileups. If you hear them 3-3, don't be busting butt when there's a brand new pile of people. Give it time. I've run 2 hours pileups. 2 hours I've sat there and did not move the dial. More than once, and I had never believed it. And that's what these young people, old people, middle-aged people do to give you a contact. This is very addictive, and I've seen several, such as myself included, go from being a chaser and a hunter to parks on the air to being an activator. Now, you have CW, you have digital, you have single sideband. If you have some activators in your area that are on 2 meters or 440, and they're on a simplex frequency, not a repeater, but a simplex frequency, and you make contact with them, that's a contact that they need. So if you ever hear of any activators coming on the local repeater where you're at asking you to go to a simplex frequency, they would really appreciate it. The reason I bring that up is, as an activator, they have we'll say a minimum requirement. A full-sized activation is 10 contacts. And once they get past those 10 contacts, the pressure is off of them because they either have a failed or an activated activation, one or the other. You don't concern yourself with it because you're sitting at home. they have a failed, if they don't get 10 contacts, or a fully activated activation. So you being there on 2 meters simplex where they're at, or 440 where they're at, gives them an opportune time. Plus, you may want to go to 10 meters and work them, your ground skip. There's several different ways that you can help. You are vitally important. We welcome you as an activator. I appreciate each one of you that come out here. As I get ready to close this video, I'm trying to think of some of the other things that hunters need to remember, that it's up to you to chase us, but as an activator, we need you to remember when we're running QRP, and you know we're QRP, we may hear you 5 and 9, but you're hearing us 2 and 2 or 3 and 3 or so forth. Understand, when we're QRP, we're running compromised power. Some of you are sitting there with 500 watts or 1,000 watts with the beam, head straight down their way. We're running a piece of wire hanging 50 feet off of the ground, up in a tree, swinging and smiling and making contacts. Or we may have a delta loop. We may have a stick, 20 meter, chameleon, SS-17. That's it. And we haven't even talked about mag mounts or ham sticks on automobiles and the beds of trucks and things like that. So as a hunter, there's a lot for you, and I appreciate you if you've gone this far to listen to an old man. When the Lord takes me home, I can leave you the same thing I've left a lot of people. And that's a memory. And my feeling is I hope it's a good one. May God bless you. Until our next video, November Charlie 4 X-Ray Lima, NC4XL, North Carolina's for extreme lovers and are not. The darling old man Dom says 73s.